as her car began to sink, and she tried to kick through the windshield unsuccessfully and knew she was about to die, an off-duty Denton firefighter who was there fishing with his son saw it, jumped in the water, swam over, got the door open, it wedged his leg in the door, and the car immediately went down into 22 feet of water. And he thought, that's it, this is how I'm going to die, trying to rescue this lady at the bottom of this lake. And unfortunately, when the car reached the bottom, the pressure equalized, and he had her by the hair, and he was able to pull her to the surface and swim her to a friend. Now, he was awarded the Award of Valor for what he did. She was awarded with her life.
Kyle, can you hear me?
See, every year they try to come up with a different theme, and we do good. We have a lot of people that come here and they realize this is not a joke. This is not as pretend as you think. But maybe the theme ought to be that it's time to just get serious.
Kyle, now.
Last week we were on I-35 with a very nice lady who was on her cell phone, and 1 minute doing that, the next second she was dead in her car. You see, that's reality. That's not pretend. That's not TV. See, we've actually grown into a society or a culture that, we're so used to TV shows and video games and everything else that when all the killing and all the shooting and all the car crashes and all that stuff's done, and you shut it off, just like my kids do, when you shut it off, it goes away. But see, that's not reality, all right? It's reality for what you're doing with what's in front of you, with your television set, or with whatever you're holding in your hand. It's not reality what goes on in the streets. And see, this is what's disturbing. And you need to etch this inside your brain today, if you will. The leading cause of deaths to teenagers in the United States, the leading cause of deaths to teenagers is car crashes. Car crashes are killing more kids than anything else. They're happening in the evening, mostly in the evening on the weekends. They're happening because of distractions, driving too fast, and not wearing seatbelts. And then there's a whole list of other things. Of the 5,000 children, and I'll just say, young adults, the teenagers that die each year, the 5,000, the remaining people involved in those wrecks of teenage, all right, we're talking in their teens, results in another 400,000 injuries. And I'm not necessarily talking to someone who just broke their nose or bumped their knee. I'm talking people, often in cases, that are now in wheelchairs, that are missing limbs. See, this is serious, and it really is time to get serious. Because anything that's instant, anything that zips up through space and comes back down, and your cell phone, and you're on the internet or whatever, is all wonderful. A lot of instant things are great, but there's a lot of instant things that are not, like death. And I'm not trying to just drag you down to a level and just make you so sad today. See, that's not the point. The point is, with all the smiles every year, and with some of the folks that take this seriously and some that don't, the point is when you leave here, whether you're willing to admit it to your friends or not, is that, you know what, you learn something. You learn how to do something pretty important, and that's live. See, we all fall to peer pressure. We all fall to who's got better jeans and shoes, and I go through this with my kids all the time, and I'm like, and then as they mature, those things no longer become important. And then when you become a parent, none of that's important, because all that's important as a guardian is that your kids, that they live, that they come home, and that they, that you don't see what you see in the news, you read the newspaper, is happening right here. Because that's the other thing. We always say, it'll never happen here. It'll never happen in my family. And see, we did the whole drag racing and all that, and there was another one. And four teenagers, ages 14 and 15, went out at 3:30 in the morning. They weren't drinking. They just took one of their parents' car for a joyride. And about 3:30 in the morning, they wrecked into a tree. Two of them burned to death. The other two were critically injured. Nobody got up that day thinking they were going to be dead. Nobody, see, no one has any clue how the day's going to end. It really doesn't, you know? But there's certain things that you have control over that you can make happen. See, life's not a video game. Life's not television. Life's not the internet. Life's what you have in front of you. It's your friends, it's your brothers, it's your sisters, it's your parents. See, those are the people that matter. See, when you get older, you're going to realize something. That all the people you're hooked up with now that may be pushing you into good things and in some cases bad things, see, eventually a lot of those folks you're going to go, wow, whatever happened to Sandy, whatever happened to Tom, you know, I haven't seen them in 20 years. And that's what it's going to be. I haven't seen them in 20 years. Until you go to a reunion. The only people that really end up with you for life are your family. You know, it's your family. It's the people around you. It's those that are really close to you. You know, and that's why it's time to just get serious. It's not about television. See, and here's a point we just thought about this morning. We were talking about. See, you don't have to wear a badge and a gun or a fire helmet, drive a fire truck to save somebody. You don't. You don't have to wear a badge and a gun and drive a fire engine to save somebody. See, you have an opportunity to save someone every day. When you get up in the morning, when you lay your head on your pillow at night, you have an opportunity to save someone. You have an opportunity to tell your friend, as much as they're going to get mad at you, to tell them to put their seatbelt on, to slow down, to tell your mom or dad or your uncle or aunt or brother or sister to put their seatbelt on, to not get in the car with someone who's been drinking, to not drink and drive yourself, to not text while you're driving, to always wear your seatbelt, to pay attention, slow down, and see, this is not a video game. This is a missile. This kills people inside and outside. So bottom line is, it's time, you know, with all the different things, the work that these wonderful, caring, hard-working people that have put so much effort into this program have done, all the different thoughts and ideas, how can we reach out to our children, to our young adults, to our parents, with different themes and different maybe it's just time to get serious. And maybe it's time to leave here, when you go back to your classrooms, when you end the day, to just have one thought in your mind, and that's, who am I going to save today? Who am I going to save today? Be careful. Thank you.